Hi everyone, my name is Philip and I'm the data as a product guy. Today I come with some theoretical part and additionally some practical part where I will show you how we actually go and build data products within Fabric. So first of all, I want to share some insights with you. So let's go and take a look at the bigger picture. So first of all, here's our data product architecture on a high level view, which means you have on top you have the abstraction layer with execution, discovery, and monitoring. In the middle you have the logic layer, which is for us the Spark notebooks. And then on the lower level where the persistence, you have the core persistence, and of course the output persistence on where we manage the access and the security stuff. So how does this actually now map on Microsoft Fabric? So here actually this what you can see is monitoring. We actually use Fabric monitor, you use Eventhouse. Even some of the monitoring is done via API, but mostly the API is used for the interface, where we use the latest Fabric API to go and look at some meta files that you will later on see. And of course, a little bit of that is also done with the OneLake catalog, where people can actually use the built-in discoverability functions from Fabric. And on last but not least, execution. Here we only use the API, where we go and trigger via API the execution of our notebooks. So what's within the Spark setup? So you have this Spark notebooks, which are actually being provisioned with a notebook, as with a pipeline. As you always have the data pipeline and notebook, which are already linked together. You have a shared compute definition and in a shared environment, which we globally per domain build and then link through the different notebooks. And this actually helps us to go and let you people define what compute they actually need for themselves. So let's go one step further, where we have the core persistence, which is actually mapped to a lakehouse within Fabric. Here we use the managed zone for data that you stage before you can finally go and put it into an outport, or some data where you kind of build over time historical stuff, or how you say um, your mirroring of it's a little bit of no, you extend the history. It's not mirroring, sorry, the wrong term, but here you try to extend the history of what you have read before. And then of course we have the unmanaged zone within the Lakehouse, where we actually go and put metadata. We put metadata for lineage in there. We put user can upload files in there, so it's they have freedom of choice to use unmanaged zone for managing files that they actually have. And then you can see here already the outports as the output ports, lakehouses, which means here you can see it better. Each output port persistent is really mapped to a separate lakehouse. We do that because we use the item level security to really restrict access to the certain output ports. Additionally, of course, you can use the one security feature from Fabric, where you do the row level, column-based security and so on. But we actually share the output, and this is where we need to set up the accesses. And here finally from there, the data gets opened for consumers, which whatever they can do with it. They can build a semantic model with it, or they can just view data with an SQL analytics point, or just do whatever and continue processing with. So we've seen a lot of slides so far, but now I want to go and switch to the the real environment. Here I have set up a workspace, which is the Dataproduct test fabric help lib. So we use a lot of Python help library that we share also through the environment. And what you can see here is like you always, like each data product comes with a deployment pipeline. It comes with a draft environment, as a draft workspace and a live workspace. And each of this workspace actually is like has its own setup what people can actually do within. Exactly. Then each workspace is related to a domain, so that you can actually go and like see, okay, to which domain does this belong, this workspace, And then down here you can see like there's like this pipeline that I just mentioned. Within this pipeline, you can actually go and see that there's like the notebook already like linked to it. So we already also fill it with like metadata, and then looking into the notebook. Looking into the notebook. In there, you can see that it's like linked to the shared environment, which helps us to see, okay, hey, to define centrally what's in that domain, the compute that domain is allowed to use. Okay, so let's go back to that one. And then we see here there's like the Lakehouse, and inside that's the core persistent that I just mentioned. And you can see here's like the tables, like the managed part is like the one which is like up here, which automatically gets like next to the Delta files automatically like a serverless SQL endpoint provision, where you can go and see like tables within SQL, but you can always see like switching to file view that there is like below the Delta Parquet format. And here within uploads, you would have the possibility as a user to upload like something that you want to locally use. The good thing here is now that you actually there have like the output port Lakehouse, which we already link automatically. Then the moment you create an output port, here like you already also get like this link data item, which refers to that output. And then going back to the workspace itself, you can see that here inside we have like a folder, and inside this folder is just like this output port, where we manage like the security. And in here, it's also really cool. You can see like this is like a really was like is also used for like testing the helper library. You can see that if we work with versions, as we work like with versions for the output, we create like for each version we create like a schema, and in this schema we then see like, okay, if version 1 has like the following tables and schema, and now if the user creates a new version for an output, which is like a backwards breaking, also which is breaking backwards compatibility, then we would go and create like a new schema called v2, and there he can go and put in the new table with the customers, for example. That's also really cool because that allows us to like all the native SQL developers or the SQL endpoints like to easily go and access like the different output ports in different versions. And here you can see you also have like the logs and the meta stuff, where we go and write our additional information which we need for the platform management. At this point, what is also really cool is for like storing metadata, we actually use like the built-in functionalities of Delta file format, where you can pass over dictionaries. The problem is that like we don't have an SDK in C#, which is our main coding language, to go and access this metadata, these dictionaries from outside. So we use during the Spark, also to build a notebook execution, we use our helper library to extract this meta information out of the Delta files and put like a copy of it in our meta folder. Yeah. So I guess that was first like my first practical part within my series. So I want to say thank you for watching and hope there was like something useful you within this within this cast. Just remember, like we really like do for every data product like those two workspaces, because like for us the capsule of like access management and portability and so on is really like the data product. So hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to comment and wish you a nice day.